Michael, how things, right? All ready? Ready to go home? Aye, all good. Hello?
Hello, Bill. I've just been feeding the tomatoes. No, you need feeding now, dear.
Yes. Richard arrived?
Yes, he's out the front.
Oh, we're gonna plug it in then.
Hello there, Bill.
Hello, Richard.
How'd the shift go?
Well, pretty good, yes. I had a good day. No problems.
Well done. That's how they should all be, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, I've been waiting for you to come, Bill. I've been looking at these holes here. I can't make out what they can be.
Well, they had me puzzled until I got up early and had a cup of tea on a Sunday morning, I think it was, and seen these starlings all over the lawn digging their beaks in, and I came out and looked, and they're after the grubs of the leather jackets.
Leather jackets. That's amazing, isn't it? Never seen that happen before, but, you know, it's surprising that the lawn should look so well with so many leather jackets in it.
Well, I was surprised because, I don't know, the leather jackets, they eat the roots of the grass, and usually in a dry summer they leave you with bare patches. But I think we're in a bit of luck this year because of we had so much rain, and it kept the grass growing well and beat that.
Yes, could well be. But it must be a very different place now, Bill, to what it was, what, 28 years ago?
Oh, that's right, 28 years. It's a vast difference now, Richard, because, well, it's like a wilderness out here. There was chicken cots down there and pigeons cots, and all this was banked down there. I had to cut it away and level the lawn off, and full of weeds and old shrubs. Well, it's just out of wilderness. The job to know where to start.
It must have been quite forbidding because you had two very large buildings on two sides of the garden, and the garden in something of a hole as well.
Well, that's right. It was kind of like a frost pocket, really, and we had to watch points where to put plants, you know, to get them the frost wouldn't have them, and I didn't have no cold frames, so I used to put the plants up near the house and watch how far the frost come up. But we got away with that because they'd stand a few degrees in the shelter of the house.
But how did you actually set about doing it, Bill? Because you must have changed the physical characteristics very substantially.
Oh, vastly, Richard, because down this area, down the bottom there, was all pigeons cots and chickens cots, and I had a long chicken run along there, so I had to get rid of all that rubbish. And then this bank here was, say, 4 foot down to nothing along by here. So I cut it away and built these walls here with the stone that I had from an old wall that was down the front of the house there, and took all that down and laid the paths with it, and used it that I wouldn't have to carry it away to cut the work down, and built them walls there and made the flower beds there and a little area to sit out, and generally got it as tidy as we could in the first winter. And then I got rid of all the old shrubs and stuff that I didn't want in the garden, and leveled the area off to get prepared for a lawn the following
So
spring.
it was literally starting from scratch again?
Yes,
Cleaned it out, ironed it out?
Absolutely cleaned it out, nothing left at all. So as I could do it as I wished then, right from the beginning, and it hasn't altered a lot since.
Hasn't it, really?
No, no.
But you obviously had designs before you started as far as the layout was concerned. Did you actually sketch those out, or did you just have it in your mind's eye?
Well, no, I draw little sketches and planned a couple that I thought would be all right, and got rid of them, and then I hit on one, and I thought, well, this will be it, and that's what I done, and worked to that plan as best as I could.
The colour scheme in front of the house, Bill, did you have that in your mind's eye before you actually ordered the seed for the plants?
Oh, yes. I have a good look at the catalogues, and then marigolds. I thought they'll look fine there for this year. The castor oil plants, which I got in the tubs, and these loves I was bleeding there, they, you know, as you see, they come very good considering the weather we've had, and I think they've all blended in very well.
Yes, the whole colour scheme is good. Your containers are blending in with your bedding, aren't they? The
Yes.
choice of material is obviously based on a colour, but the raising of them and the sewing of them, the timing of the sewing, to get them all to come together so marvellously, do you find it difficult in determining sewing dates?
Well, after growing them for so many years, you get to know the day when we sew them and pick them out as they come along. And I think it follows on naturally once you get used to it.
Yes, that's
So-
the voice of experience, isn't it? But the day is
must be.
coming, the day is coming, oh, Bill, when you're going to go over to more permanent subjects, herbaceous plants, for example.
Well, I'll have to think about that seriously, Richard, because, you know, it's getting quite a lot of work now for me to bed all these plants here.
But there are some roses over here, Bill, aren't there, I notice?
Yes, but that's Alwyn's area. I'd have nothing to do with them.
Do you get very involved in the gardening, Owen?
Yes, very much so. With the cutting of the dead ends off, you know, and weeding and watering and all the other things it needs doing, like.
Do you look after the window boxes and the hanging baskets and the other containers?
Yes, all those. We'll have to water them, you know, all depends on the weather, and feed them, and see there's no weed grows in them, like.
When you came here, what, 27 years ago, did you have any say in the planning of the garden?
Yes, we talked about it, us, you know, decided between us, and we didn't have any windows in the back of the cottage then, so we thought we would make the most of the front so that we would have a nice view from the windows. And we decided on having a lawn, and I had a baby then, so I wanted a lawn for her to play on. But of course the lawn developed into such a great thing that Bill didn't want her to play on the lawn.
No, really?
Because it was, you know, it was like a carpet. So anyway, we taught her to run round and step off where there weren't any flowers, like, you
And
know.
did she?
Yes, she did, yes.
Well done her,
So,
well done her. The hydrangeas there, Owen, they make a lovely backcloth for the roses, don't they?
Yes.
What, was it planted there with that intention, or was it accidental?
No, it was accidental. Someone gave Bill the hydrangea, and we didn't really know what to do with it. So we put it there, and there's so many colours in the hydrangea that it's blended in very well with the roses now, you
Yes,
know.
that's right. Bill was saying earlier on, you know, that it is a frost pocket here.
Yes.
And one wouldn't expect to see the hydrangea doing so well in a frost pocket, and yet they're contradicting everything
They
that
are,
everybody
yeah.
says.
Well, I leave all the dead ends on until the spring. And then I cut all the dead ends off, and then they all come fresh and new.
So the dead heads are
Yes,
actually protecting the young growths,
from
aren't
the
they?
frost,
Well
you
done,
know.
well done. The roses you've got here, they seem to be mostly sort of pinks and reds, scarlets. Is this intentional as well?
No, this is more or less accidental. We need more yellow in here to blend, and we need some white, which we intend renewing, you know, when the plants, these will eventually die off. We will renew then with a different colour.
That's lovely. So you are still thinking in terms of developing and evolving all the time?
Yes, we go to other gardens and see how they've planned out, and how they blend their colours together to give us ideas for our own garden when we start planting the next year.
Yes, we can see it too. The roses across the other side, they flow naturally from here, don't they?
Yes.
The odd white one and
Yes.
just the one yellow there.
That's right.
And the dahlias underneath.
Yes.
It's a good idea too, isn't
That's Bill's idea, though, to have the dahlias there, because it hides the bare ground.
it? It isn't often that one sees bedding dahlias these days, Bill.
No, Richard, I thought I'd give them a try this year. I haven't tried them for a few years. I start them off in the greenhouse, sow the seed about middle of March. Mustn't be too early with them because we can't put them out till late.
Yeah, I was just thinking because you mentioned, didn't you, earlier on that this is a frost pocket and dahlias are very tender.
That's
so
right.
when can you actually plant them out?
Well, I daren't plant them out before the second week in May, and then I got to be careful and watch it. I cover them up with old boxes or something like that.
They've done well from the second week in May, haven't they, really? And
yes,
they're very
they're
floriferous.
bedded out, yes.
Yes, they are, and always very colourful too, aren't they?
Yes.
The trees here, Bill, were those big trees here when you arrived?
No, none of them was there. I had them two there from Cardiff Market, 27, 28 years ago. They cost me £half a crown.
Really?
Yeah.
What, two of them?
Yeah,
Two and sixpence?
Yeah.
My word. But there are a surprising number of trees in such a small garden, aren't there?
Yes, them other few there I grew from seed. I was trying to hide the builder's yard there, and they come on quite well. So they've given it a bit of screen in there, and the couple around the pool in the background there in front of the house. I bought two I think, and took cuttings and rooted the cuttings and started off from there with them, and got a few more up the back area, and one in the tub by the gate.
You mentioned the lawn in passing. It really is something special, isn't it?
Well, I feed it pretty readily. I never let it go in the morning about 3 weeks, and I give it a feed. My own formula, as I told you, 7 of sulphate ammonia and 7 of superphosphate and 3 of potash.
Just a minute now, that's 7 parts of sulphate ammonia,
Yes.
7 parts of superphosphate,
3 of potash,
3 parts of potash.
and 1 part of Epsom salts.
That's magnesium sulphate.
Yeah, I mix that up and grind it down so I can put in my liquid feeder.
Just you grind it down. What do
Grind
you mean
it
by
down,
fertilizer is in crystalline form, isn't it?
Yeah, but you got to go through a very small tube to go through this spray.
Yeah, so how are you grinding it?
Well, in the wife's grinder. I don't think she knows about that yet.
How lovely.
I put it in there and grind it down and just put the recommended dose with a measuring spoon and put in the watering can, and it sprays automatic.
That's so therefore you put it in the watering can and the hose pipe's connected,
Hose
so
pipe
you've got a
sucks it up,
diluter.
like a capillary action, and it sprays it on the lawn at the correct dosage. And I found it worked wonders this year. But I haven't done no weeding, no raking, just mowing and feeding.
How often do you mow it?
Twice a week.
Do you? And do you do any aerating and so on, which all these books tell you one should do?
No, I haven't done no aerating, no raking. That's all I do. Is I got a small pocket knife which I carry on the side of the mower. If I do see a weed, I just dibbles him out and that's it. And that's all tippet I read off Fred Lord, the old gardener. He said, always have a knife on the lawnmower, so that's what I got.
Whose idea was the pool, Owen?
Oh, my idea. The pool was, I wanted the pool and I wanted lilies. And we've got pink lilies here, but we also got another pool at the back with white lilies. But the pool in the back is square, different shapes.
Yeah,
each one.
this is rather an unusual shape, isn't it? It's almost like a small canal, really, isn't it?
Yes, but we had a space left
Yeah.
and we wanted to do something with it.
Did Bill actually make it?
Yes, it's plastic lined,
I
and the
see,
stones
yes.
there are river stones. And then he did the crazy paling background to it.
Everybody says that when you're making a pool, it should be in a very open site and so on, and yet here you've got it quite shaded, really, haven't you? Do you actually get lilies?
Yes,
Flowers?
regular, yes. Quite a few every year. So they do well in the water, like, you know. So
The space that became available here, how did the space become available anyway?
well, our greenhouse was here before,
Ah, I see.
and then
yeah.
Bill transferred it to the back because we wanted the garden like it is, you know. We thought it was spoiling the garden.
Yes. How many years ago is that?
Oh, about 15.
And it's erected in the garden? now,
Yes,
in the back garden?
in the back garden.
Yeah.
Now, yes.
Can we go and see it?
Yes, of course.
Careful. Oh, it's a lean-to glass house, Owen.
Yes, Bill designed it and built it himself.
Did he?
And we used the glass from the old greenhouse to in this one.
He's a man of many parts, is Bill, isn't
Yes,
he?
he is.
And what part do you play in the managing of it?
Well, I have to water all the plants when he's in work, and I keep the fire going.
Fire?
Yes.
What, that's to heat with?
Yes.
To heat? What sort of fire? What do you burn?
We burn coke.
But where do you get coke?
Well, we use the coke from our house fire.
You don't? In
Yes.
other words, you make your own coke as well?
Yes.
Wow,
Save the
no.
coke from the house fire.
Marvellous.
So, you know, we use it that way.
Yeah, so he gets going fairly early in the year,
Yes,
doesn't it?
about
And-
February.
And where do you come into the management of it then?
Well, when the seedlings are in, you know, I have to keep them even temperature in the greenhouse, and you know, he puts paper over the top, so I have to take all those out.
This is at night, presumably.
No,
is it?
well, at night he puts them over and then take the paper off in the
To
day.
prevent them being scorched.
Yes, and for them to have as much daylight as they can, and see to the windows, you know, watch the temperature, keep it even,
Well done.
and you get used to
So
it.
you become a highly qualified manager, really,
Yes,
aren't you?
yes,
But
I have.
am I right in saying that you've got a sort of first early crop of tomatoes and second, and yet
Yeah.
some more down there which are later
Third,
still?
Yeah, yes. So we have tomatoes until about November.
Do you really?
Yeah, from the cold, you know, we call that the cold house down there, and they're just as good as what you buy.
You must be
know.
growing far more than you can eat yourself.
Yeah, well, we give a lot away, you know, and use some up, so we do use
It's a
more.
nice part of gardening, that,
Yes,
isn't it, being
it
able to
is.
give things away. I notice he doesn't waste any space even under the...
No,
bushes,
under the
does he?
stages, no, we've got to use it all up. And it looks pretty under there
Yes,
as
it does,
well.
doesn't it? It's surprising how
Yes,
effective
so-
they are.
yeah.
So you're involved in the watering, but I notice all these tomatoes are grown in containers.
Yes.
Needs a lot of watering.
Yeah, well, you have to look after them, you know, like a baby. Feed them every 4 hours. well, when the weather's hot, you have to, because they dry out quicker. But you get used to the temperatures, how they go up and down, you know, and you can judge when to come up and see if they've dried out.
Do you know exactly how much each one takes? Have you got a sort of measure, or do you
Yes.
just water willy-nilly?
No, I give them 1 pint each. Eat every feed, like, you know, and
But tell me, what are these? It's sober rubber, isn't it? What's the idea behind this?
yeah, well, the form is where if we go away on holiday, say for a day or just have a day out, you know, and the temperature is high or the weather is nice and sunny, we'll water and the foam keeps them damp.
Ah, just a minute. You water the container,
Yeah.
and you water...
No, we don't water the sponge, only underneath. But the foam soaks up so much of the water, and then it keeps the top damp.
Oh, that's ingenious, isn't it? And you've got young roots developing from the stem as well.
Yes, yes. Well, it works on them anyway, doesn't it?
An ingenious
Well, it
device, Bill.
Yes, it works quite good. You give them a good
I've never
soaking
seen
now.
it before, you know.
Yeah. What about my mirrors as well?
Yeah, what about them? What's the idea?
Well, it reflects the light in the early part of the year, because my plants tend to get drawn
That's
under
right.
this high petition year, and my plants get drawn that way, and they retain them, hold them up straight. It works well.
And does it work?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
You raise all your veg in here as well, I suppose.
Yes,
yeah?
cucumbers and lettuce and cabbage, collies and beans.
They're transplanted straight out from
Transplant
here?
them out there, iron them off a bit, and then put them out in the garden outside. there.
Outside here, are they? Let's have a
Yes.
look at them for a second. Bill, you also raise your flowering plants in here, don't you?
Yes, I was on my bedding plants for the friend about who should be 1,500
Good grief, do
bedding
you?
plants, yes.
What do you do? You don't use 1,500, do you?
No, I give some to my daughter. They got a nice garden down the country there. and-
So that accounts for why you start off for the heat in your greenhouse around about the first week in February, then, does
That's right. You got to start early to get if you want your vegetables out.
it? But
on
the veg
time.
really looks nice, Bill. The carrots are
Yes.
super,
Oh,
aren't
are they? Quite
And
coming
look as
quite
they're almost
good,
ready
yeah.
for pulling, Bill,
I'll
aren't
pull
they?
them now for you and see. There.
Oh, beauty.
nice, isn't
what
it?
was it?
That's Autumn King, that.
Really is a beauty,
Yes,
isn't it?
lovely.
You know, looking at the veg garden as a whole, it's very tiny by any standard, isn't it? Do you plan a sort of crop rotation for self-sufficiency, or what do you do?
Well, I does my best to supply us all summer, because we're not nowhere near any shops, to have fresh salad vegetables, or keep us going, lettuce,